I'm gonna stop you right there, okay? The funeral story is BS, because I talk to everybody individually, okay? Nothing matches up, all right? So we can start over. What's going on today?
Welcome back to Advocacy, Alchemy with Professor Ross. Today we have a good one, guys. We're kicking off a new series covering some of the largest drug busts caught on camera. And over the next few days, we're diving into cases that show how far people will go to move narcotics across state lines, and how fast those plans fall apart under pressure. The first one takes us to Indiana on December 19th, 2023, where DEA agents moved in on what they believe was a multi-state meth trafficking operation. It started with a tip, it ended with 3 women in handcuffs, and in between, over 112 pounds of meth, a rental car full of conflicting stories, and a drug-sniffing dog that changed everything. This isn't just about what was found, it's about how the story came apart, what the law allows, and what your gut tells you about who's lying, who's leading, and who's trying to save themselves. With that, let's jump in.
Making the stop, 7350. They haven't come to a complete stop yet.
Morning, ma'am.
Morning.
How you doing?
Hi, Carmen.
Not too bad. You got your license and registration with you?
Well, registration's a rental car.
It's okay. Just anything with a van or whatever.
I don't know
Are
where
you in a hurry this morning? Are you heading somewhere?
Yeah, we're going to a funeral.
Oh, to a funeral.
Yeah.
Whose
Don't know
funeral?
where we're at. PTSD Springs.
Okay. That might work. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. It's all right. Back at, I believe it's Bridgeport. When you come onto Washington Street, you roll through the stop sign, didn't come to a complete stop. I'll try to get you.
Please, I don't know nothing about it.
You're good. Give me just a second. Let me run everything. How we doing today? Thanks out for a second. Where y'all headed to?
Yeah.
A funeral.
Yeah, we just landed and we don't know where we're at. The PTSD Springs.
And they're supposed to take us to the gas station.
Where y'all coming from?
Airport.
Like, I get that. What state?
California, this is my cousin from Chicago.
Okay. Alrighty. How long y'all staying? Y'all got a ton of luggage.
A week.
A week? Okay.
Well, I'm staying a week. They're staying. We got a funeral to be at.
Okay, hang tight. Sit. Good? Yep. Ma'am, is this window rolled down?
I don't know.
You got one back here too. Go ahead and step out of the car for me.
What am I stepping out the car for, sir?
Dog indicated. Go ahead and step out of the car for me.
Okay, what?
Step out of the car for me. Step out of the car. Just keep your hands where I can see them. You can leave everything in the car. Turn around, face that way. Put your hands on your back. I'll explain everything here in just a second. You're not under arrest at this time.
Okay.
Go ahead and step out of the vehicle for me.
What's going on?
Go ahead and put your phones in there for me
Can
for a
I
minute.
record? I don't know what's going on. This
So,
dog's out.
all right, I got a narcotic dog, and he alerted that there's a presence
That's
of
fine.
odor.
Can I?
Just put your phones down.
Yeah, I'm like, can I record whatever this
Yeah,
is?
you can record whatever you want. You can put it on record, but
Yeah,
I
it's
asked you
fine.
to
I
just
don't know
leave it there.
what's going on.
You ain't got no weapons on you, nothing
No, I
like
don't
that?
got anything on me.
Okay, all right, just turn around for me real quick. You're not under arrest. You're not under arrest. You're just being detained, okay?
Oh, why am I being detained?
Because my dog alerted on the vehicle that there's a presence of narcotics. Yeah, you did. All right, step on back here for me. I'm gonna put you next to this car because it's warm, okay? You just put your hands on the hood, keep your hands warm. That's it. Might go inside. Step back here. Yep. Just put it right there. Let a little bit of heat come out of there because it is cold out. I'm gonna have you step out, okay? You ain't got no guns, nothing like that?
No, sir.
Okay, go ahead and step out for me. Cuffs? Yeah, I'd use my second. You got your second? No, I don't.
Why am I being handcuffed?
You're just being detained. You're not under arrest, okay?
Why am I being
My dog alerted on the vehicle that there's a presence of narcotics. So we're going to search your vehicle. If there's nothing in there, then y'all are free to go.
illegal search? It's illegal search.
Yeah, in Indiana, if a police dog alerts on a vehicle, that's probable cause to search the vehicle. Is there anything in the vehicle that shouldn't be in there? All right, read them, Miranda, first. Are we going to find anything illegal in the bags? Not that you know of?
No, I only have a carry-on.
You only have a carry-on? Okay. So my dog, he is trained on 6 odors of narcotics: cocaine, crack, heroin, ecstasy, meth, and marijuana. With this being a rental car, fairly new, I'm assuming there's no odor in the vehicle other than what you all brought into it.
I don't know.
You don't know?
Can I talk to you real quick, ma'am? I'm sorry. Where you guys coming from?
They're coming from LA. One is from LA. I think she's from Ohio. We just going to Kentucky for
How do you know them?
That's my cousin, and that's the person that died. That's his girlfriend.
That's what?
Girlfriend, the person that died.
Oh, okay. You in relation to the girl up there?
That's the girlfriend.
Oh, yeah. Are you
We're going to a funeral.
related to that person up
That's
there?
my cousin. No.
Okay. When's the funeral?
Huh?
When's the funeral?
It's today.
Oh, today? Okay. Hang tight for me right here. How do you know the other two?
We're family. We're like really close friends.
Okay. Who was it that passed away?
Our cousin. We call him our cousin.
Oh, okay. How do you know her up there?
Cousin.
When's the funeral?
In 2 days.
In 2 days? Okay. All right. So you got time. So we're not delaying you too long. I just don't want you guys to be late or anything.
Weed, I smell it. I can smell it now. Here, grab that corner and pull. No. Oh, something just dropped. Tampon.
That's Mike. Sweet.
That's heavy though. I don't know if that's weed or not.
Can't all be weed.
That's crystal.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a bunch of crystal. So we're good on this bag. I got everything there. Oh man, that's heavy. Got it. That one came out of that. Let me get a picture of that one came out of there. Take a picture real quick for you. All right. That, my dear, is crystal meth.
All right. So here's the deal, okay? I don't know if you see, but they're getting bundles of narcotics out of bags, okay? I talked to other people, and they claim the other bags aren't theirs, okay? Here's the thing. I understand sometimes people, they get into a money situation where, hey, they get down on luck or whatever, so they feel like they need to do something. That doesn't mean somebody's a bad person. I just want to know what your story is.
My story is, my father is in law enforcement. I grew up very in a sheltered community.
So what happened today?
Today, just with my cousins, going to a funeral.
Okay, so I'm gonna stop you right there, okay? The funeral story is BS, because I talked to everybody individually, okay? Nothing matches up, all right? So we can start over. What's going on today? Because you know and I know that's not true, okay? So how'd you end up here with a bunch of narcotics?
I just came with my cousins.
You came with your cousins? So where's the narcotics going? Because that's what I'm concerned about now.
I have no idea.
Okay, so
And that's-
how'd you end up here? Are you getting paid to bring this? You getting a little bit, I'm sure?
I literally don't know what else is going on.
Are you getting paid or anything? Or?
No.
Because they're claiming all these bags are yours.
No.
Okay? All right.
That's not the case.
I need to get a good picture. Yeah. That's kind of meth, bro.
So question.
Yes, ma'am.
They said it's drugs in her luggage. Does that affect everybody?
You said what now?
The guy just told me that is crystal meth in her luggage, right?
There was crystal meth in every one of the suitcases.
Yeah, but the guy, none of that is mine. Like they told them I have all orange bags. Does that affect me?
Be honest with you, I don't know. That's gonna be up to the
I'm
courts.
a parent. Yeah, I don't do that. Wait, so I'm being arrested?
I don't know if you're being arrested or
Yeah, I'm
not.
like, I don't have it. They just went through all my stuff. I don't do drugs. I don't do anything. Drugs kill my brother. I don't do this. I'm a mother.
Were any of the big bags, the girl that's up in the front?
They're hers because she's there for 2 weeks and she wanted to check free.
What's her name? Aunt Christine Enriquez.
Yeah, like 2 or 3 of the big bags are hers.
Christine Enriquez. Marlene Richardson.
Yeah, all of the bags I tagged to all of us so that she could get free stuff. It's hers in there. She can only take 2 bags free and she's staying for 2 weeks.
I got you.
Only thing mine is orange luggage. I told you guys that when you first pulled us over.
Okay, so this one is hers.
They're all hers. Her clothes. Look at the size.
Well, this one's tagged
yeah, because
Marlene
she wanted
Richardson.
to check free. She needed to check extra stuff. She's staying 2 bags apiece, so we let her check. But only thing that's mine is that and my Fashion Nova outfits and orange stuff.
Okay.
I don't have anything with me. I don't do whatever that is they do. I don't know.
What name's that one? Latasha. Okay.
Can I call my mom?
What's that?
Can I call my mom?
No, everybody's saying this crap's not theirs.
Okay, that's fine. So they can, because she's trying to say, yeah, that's her name, but she was using it for free luggage or whatever. Problem is your name's on it. So
Also for free luggage, then the dope's in the middle of the luggage.
Right.
So we know which bags the dope came out of,
Yep,
right?
yep. I got each ID with phones, whose is whose.
Plus, it's on camera.
So each person had dope in their bags.
They all had their name. One of them had dope in them, right?
Yep.
100% sure.
Name.
And different names,
Name.
names, all of them, right?
Yep,
So
yep.
all of them have a bag with their dope in it.
Yep.
They all said that they're going to a funeral. However, when I asked them the day of the funeral, they all gave me different days. She said tomorrow. One of them said tomorrow. I have to double look the camera. One of them said 2 days, and one of them said today. And then the other one's like, well, the wake's today. One of them identified all themselves as cousins. I just said their stories were inconsistent.
Yeah, the driver told me that they were cousins of two
Now
in front,
she's
and now
saying-
they're friends, right?
Yeah,
I don't do this. I'm a public figure. I have 2 million followers on Instagram. She been talking to that man for 30 minutes. I know police. When a police officer take the liking to one person and keep talking, it's because that's the one that's gonna talk.
Oh.
I was trying to get the barhead dude attention.
That dude on the right?
Yeah.
You need him for something?
What I'm finna say, I can't say on a f***ing body cam.
You want to talk to him again?
Hey, your body cam is gonna get. I can't have this on record.
Let me, I'll bring him back. Hold on.
Them people who start with a C, you read between the lines? The people who start with a C?
Okay.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Give me a second.
Thank you.
No problem.
Hi.
Hey, they said you want to talk real fast?
Yep. Well, I didn't want to talk to them because they have body cam and my safety matters.
Right. Now's your shot.
So, if I told you that there were more people coming to them with way more shit, what happens?
That's good. Anything you can tell me would be cooperative. If you knew where they were taking it, that would be
No,
good.
I don't. But I know that she has previous dealings with people who start with a C from Mexico.
Okay.
And
She being Tasha.
Yeah.
So she has ties to the cartel. Tasha or
does.
Tasha does.
Tasha does. If somebody come talk to me,
Yeah, they were gonna
I
come
can
talk
give
to
them that, and I know who else they was meeting. I know who else was coming because they were dropping me off and going to meet these people. I was going to my Airbnb. I can give you all of that. Will I be home by Christmas?
Where's it coming tomorrow?
SDF.
Okay, Louisville. That's SDF, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Do you know who's bringing it?
Yep.
Okay, let me get on the phone. Hold on.
Good morning.
I'm Sean.
Hi, Sean. How are you?
My name's David. It's Dave.
Hi, Dave.
I'll get Sean, Dave, law enforcement. You got 100 pounds of crystal methamphetamine in some bags. It's 3 of you guys. State police called us here. So how did the bags get in your car?
I don't know what's
you
in
were
their
the driver of the car.
Yeah, I don't know
correct?
what's in their bag.
You don't know what's... So those bags are not yours, they're theirs.
They're theirs.
You had no idea.
I had no idea I was driving with that in my car.
Carrying
I don't
the
see
bag
who's
with
who's. I don't. It's
Nothing.
not mine.
Right, okay.
Has nothing to do with me.
Nothing to do with you. You
yeah,
didn't see
so-
anything. You don't know anything. Well, okay. We're going to move to the next car.
Okay.
All right. Thanks.
You're welcome.
Let's talk about the laws that are at play here, because with over 112 pounds of crystal meth that was recovered, we're no longer talking about just state court territory. This case has federal time written all over it. First, we have 21 USC Section 841, Section A1. This is possession with intent to distribute. Knowingly possessing meth with the intent to distribute, especially in amounts over 50 grams, triggers federal minimums. These women had over 50,000 grams. That's 10 years to life, no question. Second charge, 21 USC Section 846. This is the conspiracy to distribute. And it says, even if one person didn't pack the bags, helping or agreeing to transport the drugs makes you an accomplice and also guilty. That's conspiracy. And the same penalty as if you delivered the drugs yourself. So this would be looking at the same 10 years to life. Number 3, 18 USC Section 1952. This is the use of interstate facilities in the aid of racketeering. And this one says using flights, rental cars, things of that nature to carry out drug crimes would be entitled to this federal enhancement. Here, these women were moving narcotics across the country using commercial airlines. That's a violation. Better yet, that's a textbook violation. All right, number 4, U.S. Sentencing Guidelines, Section 3B1.1, aggravating role. Now, Latasha Weatherspoon may face more time if the court finds she organized or recruited these other women. especially since she was reported as paying Christina and booking the flights. This law, in a nutshell, adds 2 to 4 levels to a person's presumptive sentencing depending on their role and the scale of their role. In high-level drug trafficking cases, this can significantly increase prison time, especially when combined with mandatory minimums. This enhancement matters most at the sentencing phase. It doesn't need to be proven beyond a reasonable doubt, only by a preponderance of the evidence. Now, we also compiled several of the laws in Indiana that could apply. But once again, like I said, when a person is caught with this much amount of drugs, a lot of times the federal agencies like to get involved so they can claim some of those numbers also. All right, so some of the state laws that we're looking at, we have the Indiana Code, section 35-48-4-1.1, and that's dealing meth. That's a level 1 felony. All right, I'm going to pop it up on the screen. All right, the second one is conspiracy. This is found in section 35-41-5-2. We also have possession of meth. That's found in section 35-48-4-6.1. And finally, we have maintaining a common nuisance. That's found at section 35-45-1-5. All right, so I want to definitely make sure I showed you all those laws under the Indiana Code. And if they flash up too fast, just go back and pause so you can take a look at those. All right, next we're going to move into the evidentiary standards. These apply whether it's going to be a federal prosecutor or it's going to be a state prosecutor bringing the case, okay? All right, so let's move into it. Let's walk through the 6 levels of proof we use in every criminal case. First, you have mere suspicion. This is a gut feeling, like when the DEA first got the tip about Natasha flying suspicious routes. This is nothing more than an unconfirmed hunch or instinct that something may be wrong. It isn't based on facts that can be clearly articulated, and it doesn't allow for any legal action on its own. Mere suspicion can raise interest, but cannot justify a stop, search, or detention. It's like a whisper in the back of your mind. Law enforcement may take note, but the law requires more to act. All right, moving on to reasonable suspicion. All right, this is when the police or the government have specific and articulable facts that can lead a reasonable officer to believe that criminal activity is afoot. And that simply means that criminal activity is occurring. It's more than a feeling, but it's less than actual proof. It does allow police to briefly detain someone for an investigation. Officers must be able to point to concrete observations that justify these actions. This is the legal standard for a Terry stop and traffic stops where no arrest has been made just yet. A good example is officers observe the traffic violations, the rolling stop, unusual travel patterns, and inconsistent answers during questioning. These facts gave them reasonable suspicion to detain and further investigate these 3 women. Number 3, probable cause. Probable cause exists when there's a fair probability based on facts and circumstances that a crime has been committed and the person involved is connected to that crime. This standard is used to justify arrests, to obtain search warrants, and to file charges. It doesn't require proof beyond a reasonable doubt, but it must be based on objective evidence that would lead a reasonable person to believe a crime is being or has been committed. A good example is once the K-9 dog are alerted on this vehicle and officers smelled marijuana, and especially once they found those bundles of meth, they had probable cause to arrest the women and to further search the whole vehicle, all the bags. Number 4, preponderance of the evidence. All right, this is the standard used in most civil cases and in certain forfeiture and sentencing hearings. They're dealt with in criminal court. It means that the evidence shows something is more likely than not to be true. This requires about 51% of the evidence in your favor to win this type of case. You're simply just tipping the scale in your favor. This doesn't mean absolute certainty, but it means the greater weight of the evidence supports one side. A good example is if the prosecutors seek to seize the rental car or suitcases used in the smuggling, they only need to show that it's more likely than not those items were used in drug trafficking. Number 5, clear and convincing evidence. This is a higher standard of proof than preponderance. It means that the evidence must be highly and substantially more likely to be true than not, and the fact finder must have a firm belief or conviction in that truth. This standard is also used in civil type of cases. It's used in civil commitments. It's used at sentencing enhancements. It's also used when you're trying to apply an aggravating role enhancement. It's not as high as beyond a reasonable doubt, but it requires more than just a slight edge in the evidence. This level requires probably about 75% of the evidence being in your favor to be successful. A good example is to prove that Latasha Weatherspoon was the leader of the operation, and Miss Weatherspoon was the one with the Queen sweatshirt on. Prosecutors would need clear and convincing evidence, like witness statements, payment records, or multiple coordinated trips showing she was in charge. Last, beyond a reasonable doubt. This is the highest standard in our justice system. It's used in every criminal trial. Now, it doesn't require 100% certainty, but the evidence must be so convincing that no reasonable person will question the defendant's guilt. This takes about anywhere from 90 to 95% of the evidence in your favor to be successful. It's a deep confidence in the truth of the charge and not based on any speculation or doubt rooted in sympathy or guesswork. This standard protects individuals from being punished without strong or solid proof. A good example at trial. The government must prove beyond a reasonable doubt that each woman knowingly participated in the drug trafficking operation. Not just that the drugs were in their luggage, but that they knew and intended to help move all those drugs. Now let's step into the jury box and let's figuratively put on the robe. You just watched the footage, you heard the charges, and you've seen the crystal meth lined up on the police car. Now you have to make sense of what you heard and what you didn't hear, and what your common sense tells you about all three of these women. Let's walk through the facts like a real juror. 3 women, 3 separate sets of bags, all tested positive for methamphetamine. Each woman claims innocence, each blames someone else, each gives different versions of the story. They all say they came for a funeral, but you notice something. One says the funeral is today, somebody else says tomorrow, somebody else says in 2 days. Not a single one can provide details about where or when the service will take place. As a juror, you don't just ask what was said, you ask why don't the details match up? Next, we have the luggage. Every bag contained meth, was tagged with someone's name. All right, there's no mystery there. One person even admitted to checking extra bags under someone else's name to get around the airline fees. The quick lesson, don't check anybody's bags. If you don't know them and you didn't pack their bags, don't check their bags. All right, here's your question. Can you deny responsibility for a suitcase when your name's on it and it came off the plane in your possession? Now, the one woman who admitted to having a father that works in law enforcement, Christina Enriquez, admits that she was paid anywhere from $1,000 to $2,000 per trip. Now ask yourself, would you fly across the country with someone else's luggage for cash without asking questions? You probably wouldn't, or you probably wouldn't have to. Or is that the kind of thing people say once they've been caught? And then we have that other twist, the woman who wanted to talk off camera. She drops hints about cartel connections. She says there's more drugs arriving tomorrow. Does this sudden cooperation feel honest or is it strategic? Now, as a juror, you're allowed to consider credibility. You're allowed to evaluate the tone, the body language, and if the story feels rehearsed or if it sounds real. And yes, you're allowed to listen to your intuition. And that's just that quiet voice that says things like, well, this doesn't feel right, or they're leaving something out, or there's no way she's just along for the ride. She's running a play. So now we ask, did all 3 women knowingly transport drugs? Was someone a leader and the others just following? Are all 3 equally involved in this coordinated smuggling operation? You don't have to guess, but you have to decide based on the evidence and what your intuition confirms. Let me know in the comments below. Guilty, not guilty. All right, so let's bring this lecture home. On December 19, 2023, a simple airport pickup in Indiana turned into a full-scale DEA takedown. What was found? 112 pounds of crystal meth. You had 3 women that were detained, and you have some half-truths and contradictions and finger-pointing. We saw how a tip became mere suspicion, how behavioral cues and traffic violations created reasonable suspicion, and how a K-9 alert and visible narcotics gave officers probable cause. From there, the law did what it's designed to do: escalate carefully but legally. We broke down the federal and the state charges, including possession with the intent to distribute, conspiracy, and the aggravating role enhancements. They could push a sentence from a term of years to life. This wasn't about minor possession. This was about organized drug movements with life-altering consequences. But if we go beyond the law, the forms, the footage, there's still something else that this case is useful for. It's simply to tell you this: the people tell stories, and when those stories don't line up, when things feel off, when the answers change, when the luggage tags don't match the claims, that's when your intuition starts to speak up. In a courtroom, that very same instinct, the ability to detect when something doesn't feel right, can be just as powerful as a piece of evidence. Your lesson: in criminal law, we don't deal in guesses, we deal in standards. But in life, you have to learn to listen for tone, to watch for hesitation, and to trust when something doesn't sit right. Whether you're on a jury, walking through the airport, or just watching this from your living room, stay sharp, stay curious, and respect the law. Because when it kicks in, it moves fast, and it hits hard. Remember, this is Advocacy Alchemy, and I am Professor Ross. I'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe. Everyone have a good day. And don't forget to like and subscribe too.